still focused on food. Okay, this stage is where the spread type will start coming in handy. As the enemies, you can see they're all focusing, those enemies on the side are all pointing their bullets at you, straight at you. So you're going to want to make small movements. This is known as streaming for those of you who don't know. These enemies are more or less ones you want to stream. You're going to be attacked by the enemies with homing bullets, so you'll probably still want to stick with the focused member. One thing you want to do is try to collect these points, which I should be doing, because once you reach, as you can see right now, it is at a limit of 500. Once you hit that, your maximum limit is increased and you're given a 1-up. So as you can tell, that is very helpful and something you definitely want to do. And if you didn't already know, going to the top automatically collects everything. Some teams have different areas where different amounts of how high they gotta go in order to have the auto collection. This girl, our next boss, is on the team of which it is lowered, so it does make auto collection easier. And as you can see in the background, the fake moon. So here is the ordinary black magician, Marisa Kirasame, who is the second most used Touhou character in the series, second place to Miss Reimu, because she appeared in one more game than Miss Marisa, and that was the original Touhou #1 on the PC 98 in Japan. A lot of people don't really consider Touhou 1 through 5 really Touhou, but it really sets the tone for the entire series later on. A lot of people just know 6 through, well, now 13, but I highly recommend, if you're able to play the first 5, that you do. And if you can, if you're like me and don't really understand much Japanese, then it would be helpful to have the translation handy. So I actually found a near full translation of the second Touhou, and here we go. These stars have small hit boxes, but there's a crap load of them. So I'm going to be using Yuyuko to dodge these. Okay. Stardust Riviere is one of her classic moves. Well, classic later on in the series, I guess. But anyway, it is one of her bombs. For one of her moves, she uses to clear away bullets. For this one, you want to stay inside the loop in the first one, and then, as you can see, just follow a little wave that they make. Stay away from where the enemies, where those familiars are summoning more bullets, and it goes in a direction. It changes direction each time, so just follow that. That was a stupid mistake, and I apologize. Okay, now I'll make it up to you by owning this part. The light movements, as you can see, help, especially when these homing bullets are attacking and you keep getting jumped by enemies, because, as you can see, you could pin yourself down, like I almost did. So this one is more or less, it just really depends on what you want to do. You can stick to the unfocused member of your group if you would like, but your focused member is easier to move through all this stuff, but your unfocused member can destroy the enemies that are summoning the bullets. Okay. So now she gets 2 tries because she's fighting 2-on-1. This is her non-directional laser, another one of her bombs. You gotta move right to left to right to left. Well, maybe vice versa, but don't stay in the middle because they do go past. I made that mistake before. Only bad thing about using the unfocused member is that the familiars do take bullets for her. And she does end up summoning more. But it does help clear out the bullets. So, I mean, there's a good and bad, and they're about equal weight if you ask me. Okay, here's her Master Spark. This is probably her most infamous bomb. Her most powerful bomb. She is a character that is focused on power. So, kind of figures she would have something like this in her arsenal. But what you want to do is stick from one side and then move to the other. In later difficulties, she does split it into two different Master Sparks, and she does move them. Although very slow, she does move them. So she is very dangerous. I don't know if I would have survived that, to be completely honest. I bombed that like right at the last minute, so... I should have probably used Yomu for that, but that's okay. There we go. And it looks like she's back for one more move, the final spark. Okay, this is the real one, sorry. Yeah. It is... As you can tell, it's my first time on that real card, so, yeah. I usually play as the border team myself, but as I've, it has been years since I've actually played this one. I just picked it back up just to start a Let's Play. Although I should probably focus particularly Touhou 8 on beginners, because, like I said, it is probably the best one for beginners. Due in fact to the part that it is easier to pull off a death bomb. You have two different options to choose from rather than having to focus on one type of character and two different types of shots. You actually get a little bit of the best of both. And I probably would recommend this one or number 13 for your first one, though number 13 will be more difficult. Not too many points right now, but plenty of this purple time, which you do collect, and if you reach the predetermined amount, in which this level is 9,999, you will end up using a half hour of time instead of an hour, which is what you want to do because in this game you do not want it to become morning or 5 or 4 a.m. or whatever. The object of this is to complete it before the morning, which I know I said night is eternal, but you know, it somehow isn't eternal because you're going to stop it. Sorry about that. I can be as confused as you are, if not even more, sometimes. So let's just... This is another case in which the enemy does use the familiars as a weapon, and these side bullets are quite annoying. Okay, here's a 1-up. I'm gonna stick to the unfocused, or the focus, so I can get the spread shot in. The shots are focused on where you are currently at after they make their small movement forward. They stop and then redirect themselves. Here come more of those tougher enemies. Not too bad. Again, the white on these larger bullets are the dangerous part. So not exactly everything is lethal on the bullet, so that's kind of good. A space bird. A rabbit. Close enough. Okay. Here's what seems to be a more fan favorite character, Miss Ryzen Inaba? Or Undun. Okay, I'm just confusing myself now. Okay, Arian has come, she's left it up to Ryzen. Yeah, Inaba, I was right. A lot of fans like to joke that the U is for Undojin, and that would, I can't remember the translation off the top of my head, but the joke is that these bullets are actually suppositories. And this character focuses on confusing and manipulation. So just stick towards either the middle or side, and you'll be alright. You cannot get hit by the bullets when she's separating them, effectively doubling them. So just try to find a gap in which the two will be crossing in the middle, and you should be fine. Slash of the Eternity is actually a very powerful card, but you can only use it when you are about to die with Miss Yuko. Now this one is essentially the same. Move to safer spots when she effectively splits the bullets. Though for this one you'll want to keep switching between focus and unfocus so you can move and then make the slight movements you need to survive. It takes a little practice, but you can do this. I believe in you. Okay, I always feel uncomfortable on this non-spell. So here's the idling wave. On normal, you can go down to the bottom at the beginning and pass through the first bottom ones. You want to move back up to the middle, pick a side, and then just focus on dodging them one at a time, although I didn't. Now this one is the invisible full moon. It relies on manipulation, so just remember where it is, and it does make a small amount of movement, so just go up about a quarter of the screen and you'll be alright. And watch out for the familiar summoning bullets, that's all. That's all. Either that or stick to the bottom and just use your hitbox. Whatever works for you best. It seems to me that abusing my hitbox seems to be working better. As you can see, I did make the predetermined amount. This is also a new move. So... yeah.